day in the morning, you pick up any Shanti mantra, whether Yom Sahana Bhavatu or Asatoma Satadamaya or Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina, Sarve Santu Niramaya, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschit Dukha Bhag Bhavid. Even if you cannot chant, just pick up the English translation or in your language. Let everyone be Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina. Let everyone be happy. So every day you wake up in the morning, your mood is upset, do it. Your mood reminds you that you have to do a Shanti mantra, do it. Your mind has gone somewhere, remember and do it. Why we do it? Because with that state of the mind, we are going to live our life, that day life, the entire day. So what is going to happen? You're doing first week, second week, couple of months, and now the mind will remind you every day in the morning when you wake up. And it takes only 5 minutes. That is the first part of the talk. Now the second part is that when I say let everyone be happy, so I'm leaving the name in the form of every living being. Look at the message our masters have given, from the ant to elephant to the tiger to the human being to my friends and enemies. I'm leaving every their name in the. I have a struggle with their name in the form, but the core. I don't have any problem with the core. My core and the core of all the living beings is the same. They all are seeking happiness. So what happens? The mind starts undergoing a change. This what I normally say that we are now on the verge of installing a new app. New software is entire sadhana Panchkam, and we are installing new app which will help us to move ahead. Now in the evening I'm leaving other parts in the morning. So you analyze that how many times you were upset, anxious, reacted. So you reacted by speaking, you reacted physically. Everyone knows it. But I have also to understand how many times I reacted mentally and emotionally, but I didn't speak. That is the impurity of the mind. So I have to analyze every day before going to sleep, and then what is going to happen? You do it for a couple of days. So we have to implement the entire journey of the sadhana panchkam into our daily life. Then only the change will come, and then the intellect will start moving towards emotional quotient, pure emotion. Then we will feel that emotion. Say, for example, oh, my honey said me something, and my mind, because of the past impression, record something nasty. Then my intellect says, why you are, can you not be calm? Why you can be affected by the outer situation, person, people, and relationship? Is there a need for it? No, there is no need. It is gone. So why it is gone? Because now I'm living into the pure state of the mind. So that sense of purity of the mind is required all the time in our waking state, because we have nothing to do in our sleep state. Mind body is not there, no attachment, no detachment is there, so no problem. And in the dream state, it is a dream body, not this body. It is a dream mind, not this mind. So even we can't do anything. Oh, it's a dream. So we recognize we had a fearful dream. When we wake up, the dream is gone. But in the waking state, the mind continues to live with that impurity. It needs to be purified. Metaphorically, we can understand the example of a garden. Garden, we have to maintain the garden. We have to maintain the garden. It may be watering the garden, it may be uh, making the soil soft, it may be sowing the seed. So, the same thing, the entire garden is nothing but the mind. We have the weed, we have to do it, water, we have to water the plants, we have to put the fertilizer. The same way, these apps are there. Shreyas is one app, purity of the mind is the second app, power of the intellect is the third app. So we are dealing with almost every part, every area of the mind, so that this mental state continues to reflect the state of the calmness and the joy. And it is one thing very important, it is not at all affected by any outer situation. Why I am in stress? Because you said me something. Where you are located outside. What happened to me inside? I have a stress. Where is the stress? It is in my mind. So you see, outer situation, internal perception. The two are two different things. Internal perception, but why I am in stress? Because of this outer situation. You are just outside, you will continue to remain outside. That needs to be understood. So my internal perception, if it is guided by likes and dislikes, attachment, detachment, anxiety, expectation, my internal perception will change. It will cause the problem. To make it easy to understand, there are many oranges tree here in Arizona. Now they are giving their fruits, and you see that there are many oranges trees. Thousands of oranges are lying on the ground. Nobody picks up. They again become the fertilizer and they give. I don't know why it is there. We go sometime, we pick up. We pick up and we. So when I go to the orange tree and I say, "You are such a beautiful tree," so the orange tree neither reacts nor responds. Can I have that state of the mind? Internal perception. Perception is inside, coming from the mind, and situation is outside. That situation, that person, that relationship is outside. So it means I have to learn and understand and progress into that state where this mind is not affected, influenced, dictated by any outer situation. Any outer. War is there, yes, let there be a war. What is my nitya karma? So you are able to maintain your calm. You are able to maintain your calm. This is my nitya karma and I'm doing. So that is why we have to introduce the nitya karma in our life also. So I picked up the two part. One part is that you do the any pick up any shanti. You can even change that shanti mantra every day. It does not make any difference. So I have to. First thing, you wake up in the morning, your mind is upset, you do it. Mind is relaxed, you do it. Mind reminds you, do it. Mind doesn't, you forget it. That is caused by the ignorance of the mind. So I have to recognize today, but then ask yourself that why it happened. And you will realize something happened yesterday or day before yesterday, and that is why you forgot. So that is the first step we should be doing. Another 5 minutes, we are already doing Om Namah Shivaya. So just follow 5 minutes only. Om Namah Shivaya. So what is the meaning of Om Namah and Shivaya? That is why I explained you into the meditation that I have to contemplate and reflect. Om is a symbolic representation of the pure consciousness, all pervading, eternal. Namaha. Oh, so I build a false I, and false I is constantly working every day, every moment in my life. So I keep aside that false I to reveal the Shiva. So in that way, you are chanting mentally Om Namah Shivaya. You see the Shiva here. You see the Shiva in your heart. This is just watering the mind, so that this mind will clean itself just for 5 minutes. Then then pick up any audio file. It is better to pick up the last one. Just listen for 15 minutes or even half an hour. Stop it. And after that, consciously you pick up that what principle was laid down here, what is explained, how to how to understand this. So you asked a question on that, like internal perception, outer situation. So that is one principle. Now, how the mind should not be affected by the outer situation. Is it possible? Yes, it is 100% possible. It is not possible. Why it is not possible? Because I have some expectations from you. Oh, you are so great a student of mine, you are a friend of mine, and you abuse me. You see, this is how the internal perception of the mind changes. So if why? Because my I have a lot of impressions is already present in the form of the vasana. So now I don't have the likes and dislikes. I don't have any impression. I see the world as it is. When you come to before me, I see you as it is. And I maintain my awareness that whatever you say, it belongs to you, not to me. I will see how to answer, how to articulate thought, speech, and action. So, my thought, speech, and action not dictated by my expectations and my likes and dislikes. So, I'm able to have a common internal perception about everything. Now, let me give another example. I gave the same example a couple of days ago. You are married, you are living a happy married life. Very good. Happiness has many definitions, but take an example. You're living a happy married life. Now you went to a meeting, you meet a beautiful girl, you appreciate it, but you don't have likes and dislikes. Internal perception, status quo is maintained. Why? Because righteous intellect says you are already married. Then you are in joy. So you don't think that indifference or dispassion means that I have a very dryness and aloofness. Yes, I can do that. This car is very good, but internal, my mind does not have any inclination to possess it. I'm doing good. So this now you see the thought, speech, and action guided by the righteous intellect. I'm doing good. Thought, speech, and action guided by likes and dislikes, then I have a problem. So either late, for example, maybe because of the society, you don't offer that beauty girl for a cup of tea, but she offers you. Then your mind has a wrong interpretation again. Oh, it means she is interested in me. Let me have a cup of tea, agree to it. But why my mind should say that she is interested in me? You can go on. So I have to live into that awareness. To live into that awareness, I need an intellect. Only the intellect can make a choice. We have to. So, what I'm talking about, the first 5 minutes, and another 5 minutes, a half an hour listening and learning, that is the second, then contemplation. Now that we have done the contemplation, contemplation means your focus is on that principle and you are answering what, why, how, where, and when. I have already given an example. Oh, how to meet, if I like someone, oh, liking is a poison, but what liking should not convert into an attachment. Liking should remain as a like, contemplated. So I have all the answers for my crazy mind. What is reflection? I am applying those principles in real life experiences. Real life experience. Anywhere, yeah. I live into the internal perception guided by the pure mind and the wisdom continues to stay with me. What is going to happen? You are purifying the mind. And when you think, speak, and act out of the purified state of the mind, you don't leave any impression inside your head. It is not stored in the form of the vasana. It is not stored in the form of likes and dislikes. It will not convert into attachment and detachment. What is going to happen? We will revise those three verses of the Gita, which explains the meditation. In one of the line, it says, now the senses, mind, and the intellect are disciplined. It means it does not create any impression. So then what happens? Your mind is absorbed deeper within, it will reflect the real self. Otherwise, it veils, it covers, and then we cannot reflect. That's a traditional wisdom in the teaching. It gives us lot of deeper understanding about this. Another way to understand is this, like a spider. We have seen the spider. The spider emits and withdraws its thread, and then it creates its home. But at least the spider does it for good, our mind does it for bad. Mind, again, look at the same situation. You find a beautiful girl, you go on appreciating. The mind is emitting the thread. Now you are appreciating with attachment. You are appreciating without attachment. So never think that dispassion and discernment, viveka and viragya makes me very dry. It is full of life. It is full of emotions, pure emotion. Yes, I like you, I appreciate you. You're a wonderful person. So that reflection will happen only when we start the journey. 5 minutes, half an hour, or 15 minutes, or 1 hour, whenever, whatever the time you have. But I should contemplate after listening and learning. I should reflect. The reflection means that I have to check my daily experience. Yesterday, I was attracted and attached, and I had certain hesitation in the mind. The moment you have any form of an attachment or detachment, you will definitely feel agitated. Should I tell you something interesting that came to my mind? My master used to say that. Yes, I should give credit to him. Very interesting, he said. He said it will take years to reflect and realize that state. We live unconscious life. What he said, I feel, one example, I feel more agitated with you then you agitate me. You just said a single word and I get more agitated. So the outer situation, people, relationship, they don't mean to agitate you to that extent which I feel agitation and stress in. Are you getting it? No. I say you have put me, you are responsible for all my stress, my whole life is destroyed. So what I feel is too much as compared to what you said to me. Did you understand now?
Yeah, yeah, too. I think yes.
And that our mind does every day with our relations, with our honey, with our near and dear ones, with our business partners, with our employees, with our any situation. Now compare, reflect on this principle. You wake up in the morning and your mind says it's a bad morning. So that bad morning has changed my entire mental perception. And when I look outside, the sun rises in the same way. There is nothing bad and good. You told me that why you are doing like crazy stuff, and I blast on you rather than I think that what I'm doing, it looks like crazy, let me stop it. If I don't stop, then I feel more crazy than actually you mean it. That is the source of all the ignorance, that is the source of all my anxieties, that is the source of all my reaction, that is the source of all my problems. Are you understanding that? So I look back, I enter into this situation with you, so let me enter into that situation, yes. So I'm internally aware, yes. I'm not influenced and dictated by any situation, any person outside. I hold on that intellect. You are free. Throughout the day, you are free. Throughout the day, you are able to maintain your calmness. Just think of it. Think of it, what transformation will come to you. And then you think, speak, and act one option with the righteous intellect. What is with Shreyas? So Shreyas is at the center. So how to deal with this person? What is Shreyas? What is right and good to him, to me? To me, that I should not get agitated. To him, that I should not agitate him. How simple. But it demands a regular practice. It will not happen in a week or 2 weeks or a month. It will take few weeks and a month together. You have to start entering into that state, and you have to make a maybe a journal. How many times I was little upset, I was just sitting at home and he said me something and my mind internally created more stress than what she said to me casually, and I felt it more. Do you understand the principle?
Yeah.
That is what happens. I'm very poor so that I don't have means of the food. No, you have the means of the food. That is why you are speaking. That is why you are claiming, blaming. You are comparing yourself. You have a attachment with that wealth. Otherwise, you are free. I picked up that example. You have to understand in a different way. I feel hungry, so I have means for the food and I eat food. I am poor, I'm not rich. I'm not hungry. It is my mental perception. It is my mental perception that you are rich. My intellect doesn't think what about other person who is richer than you. And then how you are living. Don't you eat food when you are hungry? I have also eaten the food. So what's the difference between you and me? So one is the projection label of to be rich, other projection is label to be poor. That is only a label that causes lot of problems. Same thing applies. I'm more intelligent, I'm less intelligent. Yesterday, this guy was telling me, you see what I'm talking about, internal perception and outer situation. Said that there were 20 people sitting there, and then we all were talking, and then guy suggested, one guy suggested that let's everyone should talk for 10 minutes, and the first one to talk, they said the first one to talk is this guy. So he said my whole mind changes. I got upset, what to say, how to say. I was shivering. Outer situation is the same. Still there are 20 people. My goodness. So I said this is a perfect example, that is how we get carried away. But why I have that sense of anxiety? Because if I say something, it goes wrong, people will have a different perception about me. So that false I is taking over. Why don't you use the common sense? So let me talk. This is my profession, this is my expertise, so I can talk about this thing. And this happens like this, so you speak for 5 minutes and finish. Don't you know that? Yes, I know. I can explain it. But situation outside is still the same, person outside is still the same, but my internal perception has undergone a change because of the ignorance. It will cause lot of impurities in our mind. I'm not relaxed. So you have spoken something, and now you go out of that meeting, reach your home, and your mind says, I should have spoken this, I should have better prepared. And that continues for about a week. You are expecting from the same group that at least couple of the people should appreciate me that I have spoken well. This is what it is. I told you, vasana, sankalpa, vikalpa, likes, dislikes, attachment, detachment, desire, six enemies, impure states of the mind, delusion, suffering. I have to apply that in my now daily life. So, the role of a teacher in the Eastern wisdom is to illuminate, to help you understand your own mind. That is the way, how by different principles, how you can remove those misconceptions. So, how you can apply the practical techniques, offer engagement and support. Think of this, four types of intellect. Righteous intellect, I told about. Second intellect is dispassion intellect. Third is the love intellect. Fourth is the real self intellect. So those four apps are installed in your intellect while dealing with the world. Finished. But in the background, if I don't practice it regularly, my mind will not rise in awareness. It will not be able to pick up, it will not remember, it will not be able to apply. That is why we are doing regularly that meditation, that meditation. Now you see, it is very easy to understand. The entire journey of the seeker, asatoma satagamaya, what I discussed until now, it is all about moving from the ignorance to wisdom, false to the real. My internal perception is a false perception. Today I love you, so Today I love you because of the attachment. Tomorrow I hate you because you said me something nasty. How my friend can say me something nasty? You see the mind, same mind. Same mind is running in one case attachment. That is what I was telling you. You are dating, so you have a very deep sense of attachment. I love this guy or a girl. Then you get married. Oh, you are the love of my life. After 6 months, my mind changes. But I claim because of ignorance that you have changed a lot. Are you understanding the simple
Yeah,
principle?
yeah.
Oh, you have changed a lot. You don't love me like this, or you have promised me. Come on, you have promised me. Did you promise to yourself that you should not live with attachment and ignorance and the false? Your mind has changed. And after a few years, enough is enough, let me divorce. So my mind has undergone lot of changes, which I experience as if the other has undergone the changes. That is the greatest delusion in which we live. You are changing for yourself. I am changing for myself. So I have to recognize my own delusion. I have not to live in the delusion. That is my job as a seeker. And you cannot teach others if they are not willing, and especially the near and dear ones. Especially the near and the dear ones, they are not ready to learn. Ah, I have seen this guy. You are changing from inside, but still they will not accept in the beginning. It takes years for the people to accept. I told you the story of the Buddha. After an awakening, he went to his father. Father said, yes, I can forgive you if you return and become the king of my kingdom. But Buddha has gone with a different purpose. He said, follow me, I will show you the path of peace and happiness. And his father is thinking and expressing, oh, you are my son. I know you were sleeping on the floor. I heard the news. You were eating one meal a day. That is why you have returned, because you want that more. Buddha says, what you're talking? Follow me. You see, this is what happens in our conversation, in our relationship with anyone. So if I keep this head clear, I maintain the state of the calmness. The life is going to change definitely, because now I am dropping all the wrong perception, false perception. I am dropping the the delusion. I am dropping that delusion. That is why you see that in every text you are very clear that we have a Mangalacharan verse. It has a very, it has a very, it's very important. So we don't pick up that. So just see a very pragmatic approach. You simply casually you wake up in the morning, you sit on your bed, your eyes are closed, and then you remember. You pick up all the three and four. Sahana Bhavatu, one mantra, Shanti Asatoma Satgamaya, second. Third is Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina. You pick up all these mantras. You pick up any one mantra on a day. Contemplate and reflect and extract the common factor. And then directly at that moment, your mind is mature, it is internalized because of the Mangalacharan. You go for japa. Japa also says that it regains your focus, It helps you to purify the mind. So, no, sure. Mentally, but with a contemplation and reflection. Now, in 10 minutes, your mind is already prepared. Then you listen to the talk and then extract the principle through contemplation, through the reflection, check how it can be applied. Conclusion, for one example, the one conclusion that if I get agitated, reacting, fighting, it means my mind has changed the perception as it is to a delusion. Whether it is with my honey, my employee, my any. Finished. That is the conclusion. So now I live with that experience. So I live into that awareness throughout the day. And when I analyze my daily agenda before going to sleep, and I say, oh, mind, today you are living into the state of the calmness throughout the day. How it is possible? We have already given you the principles. You have installed the fora. Life is changed. Inner transformation takes place. You recognize, you recognize this world is suffering, how the world is suffering. So my internal perception is not guided by the four types of the intellect, it is guided by projection, likes, dislikes, attachment, detachment. Attachment, detachment results into emotional dependence. Emotional dependence results into delusion. Delusion causes the false I. Now I'm living with the false I. So a non seeker cannot realize this so easily. So that is why we have to give them all the practices before we come to this journey. So, what is very important? Now I realize the importance of the satsang. Out of the satsang, we extracted the four types of the intellect, power of discernment and dispassion, and then I say, yes, it is helping me. It is helping me. The stage we reach, your mind has a tremendous faith. Initially, it has a tremendous faith on attachment, reaction, blame, complaint, but now it has a tremendous faith within itself. Tremendous faith in itself. So, the four powers of the intellect, and you can instantly recognize. You have a very critical situation. People are fighting, angry, agitated, but still, that power of the faith on the real self help you keep calm. Power of decision. Not only the power of faith, but you have already taken a decision. Oh, let him speak, let me say sorry and get the things done, and let me return home. Let me say sorry 100 times. The ego says, no, but you are right. Whatever I am, I'm right or wrong, it hardly takes. It doesn't matter. I have to diffuse the situation now. Why I'm talking about it, once you follow this, it will bring a tremendous transformation from inside. That inner transformation will be expressed through your thought, speech, and action. Personality, behavior, responses changes. The power of faith, power of decision, that is what I say. Now you have a positive sankalpa. You don't have a sankalpa coming from the past impression. And then the power to hold on, that is the dharana I explained you before also from the Patanjali. And then what happens? You will get a flash of meditative state during when you are active. One girl said me last week, she's she said, I'm cooking into the kitchen and my mind inspires me to go for a meditation. Then I say, no, I have to do my nitya karma, and then I start contemplating and reflecting, I feel I'm meditating and also cooking. That is the theme of internal perception, outer situation. So, how I recognize? So, the one master says that this attitude, this intellect becomes famous. So, he uses the word famous. So, famous means that in all the activities of your life, this attitude, this state of the mind is available. Life changes. And then the dry intellect starts converting into pure emotion. You flow with that emotion, you flow with that love, you flow with that care. Why it happens? Because you have replacing emotional dependence to emotional freedom. Emotional dependence with attachment and detachment and with delusion. So then this love will take its hold not only in the intellect but also in the mind. And you will recognize it. No, no, whatever you have told me, you have criticized me, but I still love you, my friend. You express it. So that is what happens in our life. So you see that in this entire talk, there is a subtler level of Raja Yoga, Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga. That is what the sadhana Panchkam is. Very subtle. We will understand in the future lessons. I already talked in different ways. A horizontal foundation. So this is, we are having a horizontal foundation. My perception with reference to any situation does not change, it remains as it is. I'm preparing a ground, horizontal foundation. In that horizontal foundation, there is a state of the calmness, four types of intellect is there, four powers of the intellect, and I experienced that change. I did not get agitated today throughout the day on, yes, previously I used to get it, but now I don't get it. Contemplative path, path of Raj Yoga. Path of Raj Yoga contains two aspects, meditation and self discipline. Then we have Karma Yoga because I have to express my thought, speech, and action. So in the background, it is Nitya Karma. On the surface, I am doing it with that state of calmness. So Jnana Yoga, Mantra Yoga, all those areas are covered here. So I also talked about it. The word is suffering. When I said the word is suffering, I picked up two things. One is the emotional dependence. And because of the emotional dependence, our real love inside is hiding. That emotional dependence means that it is a conditional love. Conditional love means it is attachment. But now this emotional dependence takes the form of the false I, selfishness. Both I and the selfishness. So when this selfishness and the ego takes over, it results into intellectual paralysis. I will prove how much you are wrong. Even if I prove how much you are wrong, what it has to do with me, will it change me? I'm creating another pattern of my wrong perception in my mind. So that is also known as the intellectual paralysis. So both emotional dependence and the intellectual paralysis prevents the pure emotion to flow. I have to get rid of. internally, you are angry over your honey, so you have kept mum, and which you say dispassion. No, this is not dispassion. This has to do with the false eye. You don't talk. No, no, no. It is different. I have to get rid of this intellectual paralysis and this emotional dependence. How? That is what we are learning, satsang. And in satsang, we listen and learn. We listen and learn. But what we listen and learn, that has also to be kept in mind. I have repeated 100 times. So, listening, learning, contemplation, reflection, practice. That is the process of listening and learning until the practice. Vivek in the morning, Mangalacharan, and all these stuff. Even after the practice, I experience the sense of non attachment. And that experience of non attachment becomes deeper and deeper. So then I am not agitated because of the situation, people outside. So that non attachment converts into dispassion. On its own, I need not to worry about. And the dispassion converts into steadiness of the mind. Naturally steady. You have nothing to think. And is there? Yes. So I have nothing to think. The mind is relatively, minds you start experiencing the mind is free all the time. You're driving the car, your focus is on the driving, nitya karma. Mind is not on something else. Your mind will say, no, I have to think of it, I have an urgent meeting. Did I not think of the meeting? Yes. Did I prepare the point? Yes. You are driving, focus on the drive. Honey is angry, so don't focus on her anger. Focus on your mind. How the mind is reacting to her anger. No reaction, please. Calmness. That is how these people, awakened people, Buddha and my master and other people, they are still with those treasures. So, what is being famous? Being famous means the mind lives with the wisdom. Emotional dependence is not there. Intellectual paralysis caused by the mind, delusion is not there. That is the meaning mind lives in wisdom. Now the mind follows the intellect. I told you that mind is the worst master. Now the mind follows the intellect. Mind is the slave. That comes by simple Mangalacharan, 5 minutes of the mantra, listening and learning, and ultimately contemplation, reflection. I reach to a point after the practice, I ask myself how to apply these principles in daily life. What is the agenda today? I have to meet the earth, so I will talk about I will talk like a Nityakar. So what happens? Your experience is that mind lives with the wisdom. Our mind realizes why, because it is becoming pure. What it realizes, that outer change is not required. Let the change come from my mind. You have such a great conviction, and that conviction is nothing but the power of faith. And you hold on to the power of the faith, and you think, speak in it. But you also recognize, in the beginning, we recognize our hypocrisy. No, no, I'm sorry, but internally I'm thinking that I should have slapped this guy. So we recognize our dual nature of the mind. And then we take care of this dual nature of the mind also. Why? Why? Because I have not to live my life with a mirror image that I see in the mirror. I have to live my life with this real life. That is the mirror image: intellectual paralysis, false eye, uh, emotional dependence. So, these experiences, your mind will recognize you, help you to recognize. And then first time, we experience the dispassion and discernment, even though it is used by the intellect. They are the powers of the intellect, but it helps in awakening me to the pure emotion. Without pure emotion, I cannot continue the journey. Without pure emotion, I cannot reach to the top of this Eastern wisdom. But pure emotion does not mean that you go out and declare that I love everyone. The love and the knowledge goes together. Knowledge removes the delusion, results into an unconditional love, and then unconditional love and the knowledge both becomes the wisdom that is the prior to reaching to the higher level.